Here we have a geometry question on angles. Okay, let's go to the question. In the figure above, R and T are parallel. What is the value of A positive B? Okay, so look at the picture over here. So the measure of angle over here is 35 degree. Then what is the measure of angle C? Okay, so here at this point, this line and this line, the two lines are intersecting, and 35 degree and C degree are vertically opposite angles. So whenever two angles are vertically opposite, opposite means like at the point of intersection of two lines, the two angles are opposite to each other. Those two angles are called vertically opposite angles, and always they must be equal in measure. So the value of C is 35. Okay, and now let's consider the angle measure over here. So this is the angle on a straight line on R, and it measures 180 degree. And already we know that there is a right angle over here. So it must measure 90 degree. Then what must be the measure over here? So it must be 90 degree. So that will be getting the angle measure 180 degree, that is on the straight line. Okay, so this part already we know it's a right angle 90 degree. Then this part also must be 90 degree. So that will be getting the angle measure straight angle 180 degree over here. So but here this A degree and C degree are the two parts of this 90 degree angle measure. So this A and C must add up to 90 degree. So we can write A positive C equals to 90. Okay, here already we know the value of C, that is 35. We can plug in 35 for C over here, and we can solve for A. So now we can plug in 35 for C. A positive 35 is equal to 90. Okay, to solve for A, let's subtract 35 from both sides. When I do so, this positive 35, negative 35 will cancel out. I'm getting A equals to 55. Okay, now I got the value of A. So to get the value of A positive B, still I have to get the value of B. Once I get the value of B, I can add A and B, and I can answer this question. And also the question says the lines R and T are parallel. I mean this line and this line R and T are parallel. Then what is the name of the third line which intersects both the parallel lines R and T? So it's called transversal. So whenever there are two parallel lines intersected by a third line, it's called transversal. And when two parallel lines intersected by transversal, the two corresponding angles will always be congruent. So which two angles are corresponding angles over here? The angle measure over here and the angle measure over here are called corresponding angles. So the angle measure, this angle measure and this angle measure must be congruent. That means they must be equal in measure, because these two angles are corresponding angles. Already we know that the measure of angle over here is 35 degree. So the measure of angle over here also must be 35 degree. So because the two angles are corresponding angles. Okay, so we know that this is an angle on the straight line and it measures 180 degree. So this angle measure B and 35 together form a straight angle. So so the sum of, the two angle measures B degree and 35 degree must add up to 180 degree. So because these are the two parts of a straight angle, so that they must add up to 180 degrees. So B positive 35 equals to 180. So to solve for B, we have to subtract 35 from both sides. When I subtract 35 from both sides, positive 35, negative 35 will cancel out. I get B equals to 145. When I subtract 35 from 180, I'm getting 145. Okay, already I got the value of A, that is 55. Now I got the value of B, that is 145. Okay, now we can find the value of A positive B. So for A positive B is equal to 55 positive 145. So 55 positive 145 will result 200. So the value of A positive B is 200. The correct answer choice for this question is option D.